Where in the world is Genshin Impact for the Switch? It's been 6 years since it got announced, and then silence. What happened? Some overlooked information might finally explain what's going on. Genshin Impact was announced for the Nintendo Switch on January 14th, 2020. After 2 years of no information, only one update was made about the game from MiHoYo in 2022. The development team confirmed that the game was still in development, and then after that, nothing. The game is still being worked on, but no new info has been released. So if that's the case, could they have come across some problems like the Switch's power? It's widely known that the game was having issues on the PS4 and other devices that didn't have enough power. A lot of the information out there is pointing to a definite issue with the Switch's power being the bottleneck. So does this mean that the game will never show up on a Nintendo console? Not necessarily. The Nintendo Switch, while being a very capable system, is not as powerful as the other consoles currently on the market. And because of that, the game won't run as well as the other platforms. And the developers already know this. MiHoYo as a company are absolute sticklers for quality when it comes to their games. If they have to make drastic compromises to make a game run, they just won't put the game out. And putting a mediocre version of a game out looks bad not just for the system it's on, but also for the company who developed it. They've already decided to stop supporting the PS4 version because of that. While I can't fully rule out the chance of the game still popping up for the original Switch, the chances are excruciatingly low. So low, in fact, that MiHoYo most likely scrapped development for the Switch and started developing for the Switch 2 the instant they got a dev kit. But with Switch 2, the game still needs to meet MiHoYo's quality standards. The Switch 2 has been out for almost a year now, and it has certainly shown that it can handle quite a lot. With it running games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Pragmata, and soon Resident Evil Requiem, the Switch 2 has proven that it can play higher quality games without the need for drastic downgrades. And if the devs at MiHoYo are already testing things out with Switch 2, they already know this. Also, without getting super technical, the Switch 2 is a little more than 3 times as powerful as the original Switch, meaning it can definitely do more, but would something like the Switch 2 even be able to run it? To figure that out, we would need to compare the Switch 2 to a console that is similar in capabilities and can already run Genshin Impact, and that would be the Xbox Series S. I want to start by saying, just because something runs on the Series S does not automatically mean it can run on the Switch 2. While Switch 2 and Series S are similar, the Series S still wins out, especially when it comes to CPU power. And Genshin is a very CPU-intensive game. While DLSS on the Switch 2 can do quite a bit for making things look good, the CPU needs to keep up with processing the different in-game assets. And since the Switch 2 CPU has a very modern architecture, it can do a lot. So a while back I made a video about how I thought Genshin would be available at launch of Switch 2. Obviously that didn't happen. So, when could it show up? Well, there's a chance it could show up at a Nintendo Direct. Reason being, Genshin Impact is a popular enough title with a very large following, and Nintendo would want it to be with the other big announcements that usually show up in a general Direct. As for when it could be announced, my guess is sometime this year. Switch 2 dev kits became more readily available closer to the end of 2025. Meaning that since Genshin would be a port job, they would probably have a functioning build that would only need some optimizations and final touches, and that's assuming the port needed more work. There's also a chance that the game is already done and is just waiting to get shadow dropped. And if it does, it would most likely be during the day of the Direct it was revealed at. A shadow drop seems likely since the game has been in development for a very long time. The only thing I could see preventing that is whether they had to restart or pause development. But when do you think we could see Genshin Impact on a Nintendo console? Let me know in the comments. I'm DJ Raviesta. That's gonna be it for me. The Rhinos are watching. Good night.